Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you found my channel and I'm so excited that you're here with me. I wanted to share a little bit what the differences are between the name brands Zepbound and Mounjaro, Ozempic and Wegovy, and the difference between compounded tirzepatide and compounded semaglutide. These are all GLP-1s. They all refer to a class of medication that is GLP-1. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. I share real-life education around GLP-1s, microdosing GLP-1s, metabolic health, and how women are actually using these tools beyond just weight loss. Today we're breaking down one of the most common questions I get, which is what's the difference between compounded GLP-1 and name brand medications like Ozempic and Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Wegovy. I'm going to break it down for you and just give you the facts. Ozempic and Wegovy contain semaglutide. Mounjaro and Zepbound contain tirzepatide. The name brand medications are FDA approved. They're manufactured by large pharmaceutical companies like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, and they come in pre-filled pens with fixed dosing schedules. They are typically prescribed for diabetes or obesity under very specific criteria. The upside is they've gone through massive clinical trials and dosing is standardized. The downside is that if you do not have insurance coverage, the cost of these medications are often in excess of $1,000 per month. You have limited dosing flexibility. Sometimes there are shortages. I've personally experienced that a couple times where people are unable to get their medication, and many people are prescribed doses that are too aggressive for their body. Compounded GLP-1s are made by licensed compounding pharmacies and they're prescribed by a medical provider. They use the same active peptide molecules, semaglutide or tirzepatide, but they're prepared differently. Compounding GLP-1s arose out of a need for customized dosing as well as to provide affordable access when people couldn't afford the name brands and weren't provided insurance coverage. This is not new or sketchy. Compounding pharmacies have been used in medicine for decades. And the provider that I work with uses a compounded pharmacy that's a 503A and 503B, which are FDA approved and compliant pharmacies. So the main differences between the name brands and the compounded semaglutide and tirzepatide is number one, the FDA approval. Brand name GLP-1s are FDA approved medications. That may mean something to some people. It might mean nothing to somebody else, but there it is. Compounded GLP-1s are not individual FDA approved, but they are legally prescribed and regulated at a pharmaceutical level. And with the provider that I work with, every ingredient that goes into the compounded semaglutide and tirzepatide is individually FDA approved. Once they are compounded together, that compound no longer carries the FDA approval. Dosing flexibility between the name brands and the compounds is very different. So with compounded GLP-1s, providers can start a lot lower. They can increase and titrate up more slowly. You can microdose your GLPs, and you can customize the protocols for women, hormone health, sensitive stomachs, perimenopause, autoimmune. There's a lot more flexibility with what you can do. Name brands don't allow for that same flexibility with their fixed dosing pens. Another major difference between brand names and compounds are the cost and access. Compounded GLP-1s are often significantly more affordable, which allows people to stay consistent instead of starting and stopping. And consistency is what actually produces results. So if cost is an issue for you, compounded semaglutide or tirzepatide is going to be a better option to give you access to these GLPs when cost of name brands is just not affordable for you. Another main difference is the delivery method. The name brands come in pre-filled pens. Compounded GLP-1s usually come in a vial and a syringe where you are doing the own dosage. Are they different? Yes. Is it unsafe? No, when they are prescribed correctly and used as directed. Another difference is add-on formulations. My provider actually allows you to choose between adding a vitamin B12, adding glycine, or L-carnitine. So it gives you different options and it goes through what the benefits of each one of those add-ins is going to be for you. This is where choosing the right pharmacy and the right telehealth is going to make a difference, and quality over pricing does matter in the long run. Some compounds I found to be just incredibly dirt cheap, and those scare me, quite frankly. I don't mind paying a little bit more for my compound because I'm still saving quite a bit off the name brand if I am sure it's going to be quality and the customer service and care is going to be excellent. What compounded GLP-1s are not, and this is important because compound GLP-1s are not fake. They aren't random peptides from the internet. They aren't black market injections. They're not DIY, but they do require a reputable provider. I use an NAB accredited telehealth that uses nationally board certified doctors that use 503A and B compounding FDA compliant pharmacies. And proper education and dosing guidance is also key. So make sure that whomever you're working with, they're reputable, they have their accreditations, they're using licensed compounding pharmacies, and they're providing proper education and dosing guidance. Who might a compounded GLP-1 be good for? So these are often chosen by people that want slower, gentler results. Maybe somebody that's seeking a microdose option for their metabolic health, their perimenopause symptoms, or their hormonal health. Sometimes compounded GLP-1s are sought after for people that have had side effects on name brands and fixed dosing. There are slight differences between the name brands and the compounds. Someone may actually do better on a compounded tirzepatide or semaglutide versus the name brands. Someone might choose this because they want more control over their protocol. They want to be able to have a little bit more flexibility with their dosing, if they're going to titrate up, how they do it, how much, or they may just want to stay on that low microdose option. And lastly, compounds are great for someone that simply doesn't have access or is not able to afford name brands. I want to put this out as an important disclaimer. I'm not saying that compounded is for everyone, and I'm not saying that name brands are bad. I think it's important that everyone do their own research and make a choice that works for them, for their budget, for their health and well-being, and for their own peace. These are tools that can help you in your journey, and each person is going to be different, and compounds may or may not be right for you. My goal in providing you this information is that you will have some education to better be able to make informed decisions and not fear-based ones. There's a ton of fear-mongering going on out there about GLP-1s, compounds, telehealth pharmacies, making sure that you're using an accredited site with doctor oversight. In fact, the provider I work with now has a feature in the back office. It's in your patient portal. You can link your compound medications directly to your doctor's MyChart so they can see everything that you're taking. So on your next visit, they have access to everything that the telehealth provider has access to. I hope that this has helped in your understanding the difference between compounds and name brands. Please like this video, subscribe, share any comments or experiences that you have below. I would love to respond to all of them, but compounds are not sketchy. It has been life-changing, and I cannot say enough good things about them. If you want to learn more about GLP-1s, my journey, microdosing, etc., please stay tuned. I'm going to try to upload new content weekly for you, and make sure you subscribe so you can get all that goodness.